Okay, SaltEMike is reacting to Star Citizen RoadMap. This is April 9th RoadMap. Let's check out what SaltEMike has to say.
I got everything now. This is the RoadMap update for April 9th, 2025. And yeah, surprise, surprise. There's not a ton to share with you guys because there's, this is the way things are, is they're not adding a whole lot to the game, and it's mostly bug fixes.
Yeah, I mean, they are adding quite a lot of missions. We just went over a leak that showed us that they were adding quite a bit, but nothing like mind-numbingly like, whoa, I'm losing my mind over, but they are adding things.
Fixes and stuff. We just had an Evo patch yesterday,
yeah, I thought, wasn't
he
quitting?
In terms of, it was on April 8th. But we're checking this out.
Oh, you know what that video was? Like, we never watched the end of it. I was giving Mike advice about, like, just take a break. Do you know what he ended up saying at the end of that video? Because there were a couple people upset with me. They're like, why don't you watch the whole video? And I was like, well, frankly, I kind of got bored in the middle of it and just gave Mike some good advice, or at least I thought it was good advice. And you know what he said? He said, I quit looking at negative, toxic comments. So it was like a kind of like a clickbait title. But, like, good for him that he's going to quit looking at toxic comments. Okay, so that was the kind of aha moment of the video that we all missed.
On the 10th. And, yeah, so it was, I guess, 2 days ago. That was mostly bug fixes. They said over 100. And, yeah, these are the only cards that are being added to 4.1. I don't know what else is in 4.1. This is all we know so far. It's essentially...
We know exactly what's going in 4.1. We just watched some leaks, and we told everybody what was happening.
Actually, all of the bounty-esque missions that we had done in the past, but just done a little bit of a different way. It's ship combat stuff. That's it. I mean, that's exactly how they're described as well. It's, I think, just their version of taking what we had before, sprucing it up a little bit. But the main thing is having it work with server meshing. So space combat.
Yeah, really, again, like I've been saying for nearly 3 months now, is we do need to get back to that moment where Benoit said we are going to shift gears into focusing on stability. Simple as that. Simple as that. We just need more transparency and more videos and more content focused on server tech. And we need to be focusing on stability in 2025. We went over financials earlier here on Star Citizen After Dark, and we talked about how we kind of raised the DEF CON level up because I wasn't really happy with the financials. We know that we need a return on investment with Squadron 42 coming in 2026, preferably the first half of 2026. They are contracting this year in terms of they're going to cut down costs. They've cut the LA studio. I'm pretty sure they might have cut the Austin studio. I'm not quite sure about that, but that's kind of on the line. I've been reading some things about the Austin studio, but they definitely cut the LA studio, and they're going to go through a period of contraction here, and it's going to be a little rough for them in 2025, but they're going to continue to push out sales. They're probably going to go a little crazy on the sales. Hopefully Fleet Week is successful with it. I'm very interested in seeing what the numbers for Fleet Week are going to be. Usually they're pretty successful times for revenue. And, costs went up huge in 2023 for where they reported in 2023. And that was because of buying Turbulent. That was because of the move to Manchester. And, yeah, they're just going through a little contraction right now.
Combat mission Patrol is, it's just going to take you to a bunch of quantum points. At each waypoint, players can run into a variety of objectives and encounters. So what do you think a variety of objectives and encounters mean? I think it probably means you go to one and a cargo ship is being attacked. I.e., do you remember service beacons or combat beacons or something like that? I bet you one of them is a combat beacon. I bet you another one is just like a guy with a bounty. I bet you some of them are going to be empty, right? Like, so I think that's kind of what this will be. And then we have the next one, which is, yeah, like defend the MSR, like, yeah, like stuff like that. I get, my guess is they're going to take what they
like. Again, like the attitude. He's from Jersey, and his style is this way, like very abrasive, and I get where he's coming from, and I think a lot of times with personalities like Mike and others out there that look at this project and they're like, enough already. Because when you're listening to Mike, and this is at least what I'm gathering from listening to him talk about the roadmap update, is that overall he's not really happy with anything like that's happening right here. He feels like it's more of the same. And again, why I say that the focus has to be back on where we started at the very beginning of the Star Citizen Live, starting with Benoit, which is a focus on stability. Because if we're going to focus on server tech this year and we're really going to nail it down, and we actually do provide a more stable playing experience, this kind of attitude that you're seeing from Mike and others like Mike, where they're just like, it'll start to go away. They'll be much more happy if they have a stable playing experience. Most of us would. And I think it would give them a little bit more breathing room to develop additional content. There's multiple teams. They can't just stop the development. That's not how game development works. They can't stop making missions. They can't stop making ships. They can't stop. This is all in motion because of the many different employees at Cloud Imperium. This work is going to go on whether you like it or not. They can't take people off of one team. Sometimes they can, but primarily they can't take somebody, say, designing ships and put them on a server tech engineer team, right? That's not how it works. So they got to keep people working here, obviously, and creating this content out. And then in the meantime, in the interim, while they're working on the stability, we're releasing more missions. And that's not a bad thing. That means people are staying busy. That means that we're actually getting more missions. Yes, they'll continue to be buggy until stability is fixed. And right back to square one, which is stability, which is being taken seriously. But I want to see much more content from Star Citizen, from Cloud Imperium, from Benoit. I want to see more content involved with server. I'm telling you, the longer they drag this out and they don't focus on that, the more angry people are going to get. Yeah, we're gonna have Fleet Week coming up in May. People will get excited about it. Paladin's coming in. Other ships are coming in. It's going to be exciting. People are going to buy more. I hope they do good with revenues. But like 2 weeks after or so, we all know what happens. After May, going into, I'd say, July and August, it gets real negative. We're getting I know the cycles. I know these cycles. Going into CitizenCon, things get real negative. In fact, Limitless and I were talking about this last time, right before CitizenCon, is it gets super, super negative from, I'd say, end of June into September. Those 3 months, it just, the negativity goes, and it's people get really angry in those 3 months, man. I think they need to compensate, and they need to get ahead of this right after Fleet Week. I understand they're busy with Fleet Week and everything, but I'm saying mid half of May, end of May, if I've not seen, let's give them till June. I'd say middle of June. If I haven't seen anything regarding server tech, I'm going to sound a little bit of an alarm. I want to see something at least by June where they're acknowledging the same thing that they acknowledged with Benoit about server tech and the focus on first principles, which is let's get stability in the game. I will be relentless with this year. I'm going to continually say this until people get sick of me saying this. Stability, stability, stability. The focus needs to be on stability. We're at DEF CON Aqua, which I learned tonight is DEF CON 4. Thank you.
They already have, and bundle it into a package.
It's not the boat is not sinking. Nothing is blowing up. We're okay so far. We just elevated DEF CON just a touch to DEF CON 4, which is the color of aqua. Or is it green? I think it's green. Shit, Limitless. I think it's green, dude.
You can call it patrol missions.
Shit.
Hopefully there's some other
Thank you,
cool stuff
Retro.
there.
God
I have to, I don't know, escort. We had escort missions a while back. Maybe those will be in there. This is probably the most
I'm going to call you
interesting
Pepe
of all of
Factor,
them, because I
Limitless.
think it's the
Stop
most
it.
unique mechanic compared
DEF
to
CON
anything
avocado.
that we've had in the
DEF CON
past.
avocado.
And ambush missions aren't you trying not to get ambushed. It's you being the ambusher, and it's you set up a trap in an asteroid cluster We know that there's new asteroid clusters in Evo as well, all around. So that's what these were made for, clearly. And my guess is you need to go into a ship that has a low signature but can do some damage, and the asteroid cluster might have its own signature of itself that help you hide from other ships and stuff like that. So maybe you are able to go into larger ships, because what does a high value target mean? I'm not exactly sure. So maybe these will be a little bit more of an advanced thing. Yeah, there's a possibility where a QED is required, which would be interesting in terms of a PvE experience, because that has never really been anything that we had in the past. So I don't think there are any PvE missions that require a QED. I don't think this would require one, but it might make it a little bit easier. So this is probably the coolest, most interesting thing that's on the roadmap outside of what we don't know. And then space combat missions, UEE training missions. This just seems like a shorter version of bounty rep that is going to teach players different ship combat scenarios, fighting different enemies, multiple enemies, so on and so forth. And then there's a redacted space combat mission, which is probably whatever the event is, surrounded around headhunters, right? I mean, I love how they like hide things that are completely obvious because they've already spoiled it, which is really weird. And then the rest of the roadmap is just changing cards to release that are already exist. So it looks like, oh my God, there's so much stuff on the roadmap. Yeah, no, there's not. And then just taking space combat missions and putting them on to the progress tracker. So a much less exciting 4.1.1. And that's a good thing, in my opinion. It's been really hard to make content for this game.
Listen. The focus is on Squadron 42. Let's not fool ourselves. They need to get it out by 2026. It's all hands on deck for Squadron 42, and Mike should know this. I mean, roadmap is probably going to look like this for a bit, and at least they're bringing something to the PU. Is it enough for all of us? Maybe not. Are they working and they're still creating some type of mission content? Yes. For the people that like that, yes. Have they released a lot of fucking content in the past year and a half? I'd say yes. Like, let's take a breath. And again, this is where people get to. This is what I was talking about last week. People get so microscopic, like people go so micro, and they don't take a moment to take a breath and just zoom out. I mean, look how stressed Mike is right now about this roadmap. Are you guys as stressed as Mike about the roadmap as Mike is stressed about the roadmap right now? Like, honestly, put a 1 in here right now if you guys are that stressed about this roadmap and the addition of, yeah, I mean, like, what the actual fuck? Is he not like creating like this, like, oh no, you know? I mean, like, let's take a fucking step back and take a breath. And yeah, we had the addition of Pyro. We have had a lot of fucking content recently, have we not? And if things look kind of like bare bones recently, it's most likely because it's all hands on deck for Squadron 42. Like, and I feel like Mike knows that. Mike's smart enough. He gets that. It's Squadron 42. They need a return on investment for Squadron 42. And I'm telling you, it's got to hit in 2026. It's got to hit in 2026, man. I mean, these are the important things to talk about. Like this, not so much even that important to talk about. Like, you know, if you're making an issue of this, then you are really scrounging for content. Like Mike's right. Like Mike's saying, oh, like I haven't been able to do much lately. Well, this is one of those things where he should not even have bothered like reporting on this. If he doesn't think there's enough here to report on, then why, you ask yourself, why is he reporting on it? If, you know, other than to just get like completely overly upset about something like this, does not make any sense to me unless he's just trying to create something from nothing and bring in more eyes, and this seems very manufactured to me. And YouTube algorithm, right? Yeah, I mean, like, this is the crazy thing that I find about is that if you're the person who's upset, or if you're the person who is saying the sky is falling, then you've got the views. You've got the views. It's crazy.
And that's okay. What has not been okay has been, honestly, Hathor is super cool, and it's something that's going to stay for a really long time. But what's not okay to me...
And by the way, this is nothing against Mike. This is just how I feel when I watch this video, It's just the way that I feel when I watch videos like this. And, like, I've agreed with Mike before on things. I've disagreed with him on some of his views. I know he wants the game to become a reality. I feel like when you are doing this after a while, like, if you got to ask yourself, like, why are you making the content if you feel like there's nothing in here of importance to you other than to say that the sky is falling and bring like everybody to a level where they get so fucking like, oh no, there's nothing in this one. Well, again, the focus is on Squadron 42, and I feel like he's smart enough and he gets it, and he knows that focus is on Squadron 42.
Me personally,
yeah, I guess
is
so,
Hathor coming in now when so many things have problems that taking anybody off of fixing bugs to do that is... It just seems like it wasn't the right time for it. Where when you look at this stuff, fingers crossed, the redacted space combat mission isn't as many fail points, as many problems as Hathor brought in, and hopefully it's a lot of what we had before, bringing it up to what we're used to today, and that's it, right? So the focus on stability, the focus on bug fixing, the focus on
yeah, but I mean, like, where is the focus on stability, right? I mean, let's get real. We need to see it. They might be doing it behind the scenes, but we need to see it. And that's what I'm saying. Like, we need to see the focus on stability. Like, they say there's focus on stability. We saw Benoit talk about there needs to be focus on stability, that they're switching gears. And yet I need to see the gear switch, and I need them to start making content about it.
Taking what we already had and bringing it up to a higher standard, to a more, like, I don't know, not alpha garbage. Not even like, this isn't even alpha garbage trash. It just like doesn't even work, most of the stuff. And taking it to a level where it should be would be a good thing. So I think that's the main takeaway from this is like, oh, there's not a lot of stuff in 4.1.1. That's good, right? That's great. Now, they said there were over 100 fixes in the PTU, the ePTU, whatever you want to call it. Outside of that, it's but they're all potential fixes. Nobody knows if they're working or not. They're not in any sort of significant...
I mean, it could be that they've actually cut back on the amount of transparency. It could be that they don't want to put as much time into creating the content. I don't know. But I do know that the focus is on Squadron 42. I know that's a good thing. And I know that it needs to get out in 2026 or there's going to be some serious issues. And we saw the shot across the bow with cost over 50%. Their cash hoard down by over 30%. And so we know there's like a little bit elevated need to worry, but there's, by no means is the ship thinking, and let's get the focus on stability, yo. Let's just do it already. Enough.